Well, good evening and welcome along to this Royal Ascot preview for day one here on Channel 88. The first of 5 days coming up of the Royal fixture over at Ascot, and so much good racing to look forward to. And here on Channel 88 you can see the first 4 races on each of the 5 days live if you are a subscriber to this channel, and also Singapore Pools as well. Please say that Scott Bailey has joined me here to discuss those 4 races. Scott, obviously a super meeting, one that we all look forward to and one that is just revered around the globe.
Yeah, it's great to join you, Nick. It's one of those great racing carnivals that we love to watch every year, and the powerhouse stables, the powerhouse jockeys and the best horses in the world contest this week, don't they?
They certainly do. So what we've got coming up for you, as I say, the first 4 races. We start at 9:30 with the Queen Anne Stakes, the Group 1 showpiece to kickstart the meeting every year traditionally at Ascot. At 10:05 p.m. Singapore time, we've got the Coventry Stakes for the 2-year-olds. At 10:40 we move on to the sprinters. The King's Stand. Can Batash win it again? He's first time out this time around. And at 11:20 we culminate with the St James's Palace Stakes for the 3-year-olds, Group 1 over the mile. So that race taking place on the Old Mile, as too is the Queen Anne as well. In fact, the Queen Anne over the straight mile, the St James's Palace over the Old Round Mile. So quite a bit to delve into, and we'll waste no time. And as I say, the Queen Anne, Scott, is the first race on the programme. A good race this, and for the older milers, a race in which Palce looks a very strong chance of opening up the meeting for favourite backers. He's the banker of many.
He's an impressive horse, isn't he, Nick? Palce. Look, he gets a champion in Frankie Dettori to ride, and I think he's found himself yet another superstar horse to team up with. And he's going to be a very short price favourite in this event, and I think rightly so. I feel his form leading into this it's superior compared to his others, but look, there's probably a couple of chances outside that could beat him. I mean, it's Royal Ascot. Stranger things have happened in the past.
They certainly have. A few previous winners in the race. Accidental Agent obviously can show a little bit of temperament from time to time, and not forgetting Lord Glitters, who won the race a couple of years ago. Obviously he's been in good form, winning out in Dubai as well. Aidan O'Brien runs both Order of Australia, who's a Breeders' Cup winner, and Lope Fernandez. Order of Australia, you would say on jockey bookings, possibly the first string, but don't rule out Lope Fernandez. He's not a bad horse in his day.
No, he's not, Nick. He's definitely a top 4 chance, I feel, in this race. His form is warranted, and look, if anything's going to give the favourite a bit of a shake here, he could be one at a bit of a price to upset him.
Yeah, he certainly could. Well, Palce, I think, very much a banker for many in the first. 9:30 they're due to jump here Singaporean time for that first race at Royal Ascot. First of 35 coming up at the fixture. First of 20 that we will be showing you here on the racing channel. Look, Palce for me, I think just his win in the Bet365 mile and his win in the Lock-in Stakes as well. He's only been beaten once, this horse, and I think he's proved himself as a real top-notch miler, and I think he'll take all the beating personally.
Yeah, I feel he's going to come on in leaps and bounds from that last run. Look, he was probably a little bit underdone in that previous start, and he's just going to be full tilt for this week at Royal Ascot. And look, he's a winner of 7 of 8 starts, and he's a deserved favourite. So I'm leaning with Palce as well for the Queen Anne Stakes.
Yeah, Palce looks a strong chance in the opener. Moving on to 10:05, that is the 2-year-olds taking centre stage. The Coventry Stakes over 1,207 metres for the Coventry Stakes. A field of 17 here. Scott, I guess the ideal place to start would probably be with Wesley Ward's runner here, and John Velazquez has flown in to ride Coffee Maker. I presume that's how we pronounce it. I think 1916 I saw a stat. No filly has won the Coventry Stakes. Obviously they have the Queen Mary as their standout 2-year-old race, but Wesley seemingly likes this filly a lot.
Yeah, the US trainer Wesley Ward, he loves bringing these horses over to Royal Ascot every year, and he has a great record when he does. He's an astute trainer, and look, he wouldn't be bringing this sort of filly if he didn't think she would be competitive. And her winning Keeneland was very impressive, and he seems to think she could be the real deal, this filly, Nick.
Yeah, he certainly does. Obviously she's got plenty of speed. She actually won over 4.5 furlongs on the dirt, so very much a different kettle of fish here on turf, but she does receive weight as well. She receives a kilo from the boys here, so that's certainly going to help. And on the international market, she's around about the favourite, I think, at this stage. You and I spoke before recording this preview. You like one of Richard Hannon's here?
I do. I like the horse Gisborne. He did a few things wrong at his previous start, but obviously these 2-year-olds, they're learning horses and they're progressing, and it could be a bit of a eye opener. Royal Ascot down the straight, but look, I thought that win was full of merit, and he won by 6.5 lengths, and that sort of win coming into a race like this, I just thought he could, at a bit of a price, be a competitor in this Coventry Stakes.
Yeah, John Thaney Gosden actually filled a couple in this, and Rab Havlin, who actually rode successfully here at the Jockeys Challenge a few years ago, he will take the ride here on a horse called De Habab, who is again very well fancied. Winner at Leicester, very green, but can certainly progress from that. Aidan O'Brien has a great record with these 2-year-olds at Royal Ascot, as he does most horses in most disciplines. He's got the Acropolis in this race. Obviously, Ryan Moore will take the ride, drawn stall number 4. He must be one respected. I mean, he was very green on a couple of occasions so far, but he's typical Aidan O'Brien. He'll keep improving.
Yes, very much. Nick, like you said, Aidan O'Brien, he's horses you always have to take notice in these events. I'm just wondering, how the track's going to play. Look, I know it is hard for a horse to do it from the inside barriers down the straight course, and I remember, was it Lady Aurelia when she won? She drew the inside, and that was she did it the hard way and still won in good authority. And the likes of Coffee Maker, she's got barrier 3. Will she have to do it a bit of a tough run, and can she step up to do what he thinks she can?
Yeah, for sure. It's a very competitive looking race, that. I mean, obviously the American filly is going to be all the rage for sure, and Wesley's made no secret of the fact this year he feels like he's got a very good team. Look, it's the type of race I think you'd probably look to maybe the 5th or the 6th or the 7th, and they might come out and be next year's Group 1 winners as well, so it's always uber competitive. I'd love to see the American win it, but I fancy the Acropolis possibly, just the fact that he can still improve. I think he's still improving a lot, given that he was quite green at both the Curragh and Listowel when winning. He won by 3.5 lengths. I think he can build on that, so the Acropolis for me here.
Yeah, look, I'm going number 8, Gisborne, Nick. Just, I really like his win last start. I like the margin he won by, and he's only going to improve being a 2-year-old going through the grades, and gets his chance to win a race here at Royal Ascot. So, Gisborne for me. Yeah,
Newbury form usually can hold up quite strongly. Obviously, at Ascot, a Grade 1 track. Going into another race 3, due off at 10:40 p.m. local time, is the King's Stand Stakes. That's over 1,006 metres. And just having a look at the field, there are 16 going to post. Batash, clearly the one that sets the standard, a winner of this race last year. He's one of the fastest horses in the world, basically, that we've seen for many a year. First up, though, he can be vulnerable, and that wouldn't surprise me if he was a little bit vulnerable here.
Yeah, he's getting a bit older now, Nick, and look, his record is great. He's got a marvellous. I think it's like 4 Group 1s and 6 Group 2s to his name. That's an impressive record, and he's very quick. I've stayed up quite a few nights to watch him to race in England, and I love seeing him. He has his moments before the race where he can get quite worked up. I just wonder, has he grown out of that? He's an older horse now, and he has his famous handler. You might know his name.
Bob's retired, actually.
Has he retired?
I believe he retired last year. So that was something I was actually going to pose to you very shortly, is the fact that I wonder who will have the duties of, grooming, strapping, sizing, Marfu, whatever you want to describe.
He just seemed to be a settled horse around his strapper, and
the quickest horse in the world would walk the slowest for Bob.
And look, I think he's a superstar horse. So I think his record's great. Like you said, he won this race last year, Nick, and he was runner-up to Blue Point the year before that. So I think it's all Batash this year, and it's going to be a good horse that's going to have to beat him on the day. Yeah,
a little bit of a connection for Singapore. There's a horse in here called Winter Power, raced by King Power. Obviously, they run a lot of horses here. Improving. Tim Easterby trains up the north of England. He needs to improve, obviously, to Group 1 level, but he's got 55 kilos. He's receiving weight because others have got penalties.
And judging there looks to be a fair bit of support for him too. Like he's actually supported in the market, so he hasn't gone in under the radar, that's for sure.
Yeah, a horse like Liberty Beach wouldn't be without some sort of chance as well. Not forgetting the American Extravagant Kid. Brendan Walsh trains, Frankie Dettori rides, an older sprinter but a well-seasoned one and well-travelled as well.
Yeah, I looked at Liberty Beach for this sort of race as a top 3 chance, and he ran 3rd in the event last year, so that's good form to come out at the next year and try and go a couple places better.
Who do you like in the King's Stand?
I'm all over Batash. I've been a big fan of this horse for a number of years now, and look, they obviously know how to really get this horse sorted out, and he hasn't got to deal with a big crowd at Royal Ascot. There's not a huge amount of fans this year, so I think if he behaves himself before the race, he's going to get a win again.
Yeah, I'll go with I'll take you on with Winter Power. I just think maybe an up-and-coming sprinter could well have his chance to shine there. The final of our 4 races that we're going to be showing you on the Racing Challenge, the St James's Palace Stakes over the 1603 metres. This one on the round course for the 3-year-olds. cracking race this, usually a sort of a clash of the Guineas winners. We've got the English Guineas winner, Poetic Flair, running here. Not the Irish equivalent. Max Swinney from the same stable obviously doesn't run. But a really good little race this. There's been a few whispers around for one or two others that are still unexposed. The likes of Highland Avenue and also Mostadaf is another one that's been well respected. Kick us off with this one, Scott. Where should punters be looking in regards to the St James's Palace?
Yeah, this is a very interesting race, Nick. I actually had to really have a good look and see which one I liked. There's a lot of good form in this race. The likes of Poetic Flair, we were saying before, Nick, he has contested the 2,000 guineas in Newmarket, the French 2,000 guineas, and also the Irish 2,000 guineas. Not many horses, travel around in that age group and compete in all those events, and that's an amazing stat. And look, he's obviously a horse with a lot of ability, and I lean towards a horse like Mostadaf, actually, Nick. I thought he's unbeaten from 3 starts, the son of Frankel, and he looks to be going one place better to get 4 in a row.
Yeah, he certainly would have to step up, but he's a decent horse in his day. Battleground was a winner of last year's Chesham Stakes. For those unfamiliar with the Chesham, you've got to be bred by a stallion who's won over 2,000 metres and beyond, so he's clearly bred to stay, obviously, but he, a very good 2-year-old, flopped in the Guineas, I think it's fair to say. Perhaps Better Ground will bring out the better form in him. Don't look past him. Chindit is another one, actually ran a respectable 5th in the Guineas. Richard Hannon trains him. I know they've always had a very high opinion of him. Pat Dobbs will take the ride.
This, it's a race that's just full of depth, and like you were touching on Battleground, Nick, he gets a tongue tie on the first time. Could there have been an excuse at his previous attempt where he may have got the tongue over it a bit and choked down? Was it the ground? It's hard to say, but look, he's placed in a Group 1 Breeders' Cup Juvenile on the turf, so he has that world-class form to his name, and we've seen that Breeders' Cup form hold up at Royal Ascot in years gone by.
Yeah, there's another horse in here as well. We must just mention from Ireland, Lucky Vega, Shane Foley and Jessica Harrington with this one. Decent horse in his day, and there's been a really good whisper around for him in a few places that Lucky Vega can run well in this. Aidan also fields Wembley as well as Ontario, who I think will be sort of dealing with pacemaking duties here. But a really good race. I mean, fascinating to see Poetic Flair line up again. Obviously, I think it's 4 Group 1s in 45 days, so it's no time at all.
It's
6 weeks.
It's a great campaign, isn't it?
Oh, fantastic. And Jim Bolger, obviously a masterful trainer there. If I had to put you on the spot for this Group 1 feature for the 3-year-olds, who would it be?
Yeah, look, I'm all over number 8, Mostadaf, in this event, Nick. I think he's well bred, and his wins have been full of merit, and he's on track to win 4 in a row, and I think he can get the job done.
Yeah, Highland Avenue, I think another horse who, as Scott alluded to with Mostadaf, is certainly improving all the while. I mean, look, really good races. I think you can take a chance with Battleground, actually, to bounce back. I know he's disappointed in the Guineas, but he's better than that, and he's with a trainer who can bring horses back to form without a shadow of a doubt. So perhaps take a little look at Battleground each way, but he's going to be well fancied, 2nd or 3rd favourite, I think, anyway, on the international markets, and obviously here in Singapore as well. So 4 races to cover here on Channel 88. Racing starting very shortly, 9:30, the first race from Ascot here this evening. You can stay with us for the rest of the week, obviously, with all the coverage of the 5 days from the Royal fixture. But that's just the thoughts of both Scott and I here at the Singapore Turf Club. We'll certainly be staying up to watch it. What would be your best out of those 4 races? Obviously, sadly, we're not showing all of them, but some people don't want to stay up till probably 3 in the morning, but we probably would. Yeah,
look, I think Poetic Flair, he's a class horse. He's not going to be a big price, but look, he's still going to add a little bit of money to the bank account, and just to get kickstart Royal Ascot week in good style. You want to get the ball rolling early on.
Yeah, I think he's a rock solid chance. I'll go with the Acropolis as my best bet in the Coventry, a wide open looking race, but I think he's a talented type, still improving. Obviously Palce Pier, hard to look beyond him in the first, so if you are wanting to have multiples and things like that, I'm sure Palce Pier will make his way in for a few of those, no doubt. But many thanks for joining us. The racing from day 1 of Royal Ascot starting very shortly here on Channel 88. Stay tuned, 4 races coming up here, starting with the Queen Anne Stakes, the Group 1 for the older milers coming up at 9:30. But from myself and Scott, we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll be previewing Wednesday's card as well. Certainly looking forward to that as well. But plenty to come this week. Royal Ascot week, who can fault it? It's one of the best weeks in racing, and we're certainly looking forward to it here on Channel 88.